This is a true story that happened to me. My dad had our house built in 1962. We were the only family that had ever lived in it. The front room of the house I grew up in was used as a piano room. Also at Christmas time, it was the room that we would put the tree in. As a child, I really enjoyed spending time in there. It was so peaceful and pleasant. There were only a few pieces of furniture in there. There was a couch, some side tables, a lamp, and a couple of other chairs. I would spend time in there as a child, but when I became older, I noticed I did not want to spend as much time in there. I guess I was a teenager when I pretty much became aware that there was something about the room that I frankly did not care about anymore. You could feel some presence in there. It pretty much wanted you to leave. Nothing had happened and everything was pretty much the same except the overwhelming feeling that you no longer were welcome. There was a door that entered an entryway that led to the front door of the home. And the entryway itself was the opening into which that room was. At night, it was everything I could do to sometimes pass by there to lock the front door. My older brother noticed it too. We started calling it the weird room. The living room is where we watch television. The TV was located on the wall that was next to the doorway that led into that weird room. At night, while watching TV, we could see a figure standing in the doorway facing us. When we would look at it, the figure would start disappearing. It was a grayish white form. This would happen often, very often actually. Once you took notice of it and started staring at it, you could see it slowly disappearing. It would just kind of fade away. We would notice the presence in that room during the day, but at night it was almost overwhelming. When friends would pop in for a visit and walk through the entryway, they would notice this feeling as well. There was no doubt about where the presence was, but the strange thing about it, it was never in any other part of the house. It would always just stay in that front room. One time I had a friend come over to play guitar with me. I was 19 at the time. Since it was daytime, I thought no problem and set up in there to jam. He forgot to bring a guitar cord to plug into his amplifier, so I went to get an extra one I had in another part of the house. When I returned, he was in a totally different mood and asked if we could go outside for a few minutes. We did, and I really wasn't paying too much attention to him until we got outside. I noticed he was white as a ghost and shaking. I asked what was wrong with you. His reply was, "Man, when you went to get that guitar cord, it seemed like that room started coming in on top of me. Everything got quiet, like I was in some kind of vacuum, and I felt something that wanted me to get out of there. Is your house haunted?" I kind of summed up what had been going on through the years, but I really didn't know what else to tell him. This had been going on and on for years. When I was in my 20s in 1994, I moved out of the house. When I went to go visit my family on vacation, it still felt weird inside that room. It was just part of it. We thought maybe the house was built on some sort of burial ground and maybe just that part of the house was over some kind of grave. We were always trying to figure it out, but nothing would come of it. I guess it was in 2008 when I was talking to my brother over the phone. We were talking about how much things have changed. He even mentioned that the front room at our parents' house did not feel weird anymore either. I could not believe this, and I wanted to find out whenever I went down on vacation. When I got there, the first thing I wanted to do was go into that room. I asked my brother to leave the lights out. I entered the room in the dark. That was something I would have never have done growing up. Whenever I walked into it, it was peaceful and the air was clear, just like it was whenever I was a child. Nothing strange about it at all, nothing overwhelming or wanting you to leave. I told my brother to turn the lights on, and the first thing I noticed was the old couch was gone. I asked him what had happened to it. He said someone at Dad's church needed a couch, and Dad just kind of gave it to him. That's when I put two and two together and realized it was the old brown couch all this time. That couch was purchased as part of a lot of furniture whenever my parents got married. It originally belonged to a doctor. They say he really enjoyed children. I guess he couldn't stand teenagers or adults. Maybe that is why we felt so peaceful in there as a child. I often wonder if that old couch is still haunting those folks today who have it. Probably so.